What's going on, guys? It's your girl Dags and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing the mid-year freakout tag. Now, do I understand that July is not the middle of the year and June is technically the middle of the year? Yes. Do I also realize that I probably should have planned out my videos accordingly so this video would have aligned with the month of June? Yes. Do I still want to do this tag anyway, so you're going to have to get over it and pretend that we're in the middle of the year still? Yes. So we're going to jump right in. And as always, you guys already know, I stole this tag from BookTube, threw it on over to Mangatuber, and we're going to talk about some of the tops, some of the lows, some of the mids that I have read in the first 6 months of 2022. So the first prompt is the best book that I've read so far. This one was hard for me. I wrote down Sensei's Pious Lie, but I don't know if I want to keep that answer. Well, let me tell you why I chose that answer. It makes me think, it makes me feel real emotions. Any manga or any book that can make me feel real life feelings and be like, well, damn, at the end of it, or oh my gosh, or something, I'm here for it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stick with that answer for now because I don't want to make this complicated. So we're going to go with Sensei's Pious Lie. This is about a woman who has a dysfunctional relationship with I was going to say classmate. It's definitely not a classmate. She's the teacher. It is about a student in her life and her best friend's fiance. This story is dark. This story is deep. This story has a conversation that needs to be had, and I love every minute of it. It is not going to be for everyone. I personally am not a fan of throwing out trigger warnings for things, but if you are someone who needs trigger warnings, this isn't going to be for you. My biggest letdown so far has been Battle Royale Angel's Border. It is an offshoot side story of the original Battle Royale series, which is my favorite series of all time. And it just let me down in more ways than I can count. The artwork is done by a completely different person and takes away so much from the original story. Even though the artwork is by a different person, I feel like the characters should still kind of look the same since we are talking about the same characters, and they don't at all. I didn't really care for the offshoot stories. They weren't necessary. The first one was okay. The second one, not so much. But I was just really excited to have something from the Battle Royale universe to add to my love, and unfortunately it just did not do that for me. What is the worst book that I have read so far? Say it with me, guys. You are my happiness. Listen, every time I get ready to talk about this manga, I get mad. And that should be a telltale sign. I will read Crueler Than Dead 20 more times before I read You Are My Happiness one more time. I just don't understand it. The story is about a guy who ends up meeting a demon, and then the rest of the volume is them just kind of getting it on with little to no context. Maybe I will read it one more time just to make sure I'm giving it the hate that it deserves. I just don't understand it. I don't want to. It's fine. Next question. Best sequel that I have read so far. So this is one I had to finagle, so I put it as best volume 2 that I have read so far. And I really haven't read a whole bunch of volume 2s this go around yet. So by default, I had to go with One Piece volume 2. Listen, I don't know why I know why I've waited so long to read One Piece. It's a lot of books, okay? It's a lot of manga. But I also know I don't have the attention span to watch all of it, even though I enjoy it. I think I've watched a good chunk of the anime, but that was years ago and I forgot most of it. However, I think I got up to I remember the shark people. And then I remember a story, I think that's after that, with this woman in a fruit tree. I don't remember. I don't even think that's that far into the series. Anyway, but I have been falling in love with these characters all over again. I am having so much fun. Luffy is my boy. Okay, Straw Hat Gang till I die. Let me stop. I'm not about that life. Anyway, I have finally secured box set 2 and 3. So I just have a long reading journey ahead of me, and I am so excited for it. New release that I haven't read yet that I want to read. Now, I wrote Alice in Borderland, but I've read it since I've written this out. So now I gotta think. I think I'm gonna have to go with Island in a Puddle, only because it looks like it's going to traumatize me. And while I know that's not a feeling that I should strive for, I want it. I want to read it. I have it, I just haven't read it yet. So we're gonna go with Island in a Puddle. From what I can remember, it is about a boy, and when I say boy, I know usually when I say boy I'm talking about a teenager, but this is a legitimate boy who is having to care for his younger sister, who is like a toddler, I think, because they have a deadbeat mom that has just left them. And then like there's some other stuff in there too, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I found it. Okay, I'm back from outer space. Okay, Island in the Puddle. Minato's tiny apartment might as well be on a deserted island. Despite being in elementary school, it falls on his shoulders to care for his little sister, who never stops asking when their mother will make one of her infrequent visits home. One day, when she stops by, their mother takes them to an amusement park, only to give Minato some cash and leave them on the Ferris wheel. Somebody call CPS. However, as they reach the top of the ride, lightning strikes their car, but what Minato finds when he awakens is not the grim tragedy he expected. What can it be? I have to read it to find out, but I'm so excited. And this cover makes me sad in all the right ways. Look at it, look at the puppy. Even the puppy's sad. Poor baby, poor thing. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. The only thing that comes to mind at this point is Tokyo Revengers. And I don't even know if it's anticipated. It is anticipated because I was hyped for it. I'm still hyped for it. But I have so much to read right now that I know when it comes out, I'm going to push it to the left. Because I have so much. If y'all could see the stacks of manga that I need to read. I don't even have time to care about Tokyo Revengers right now. And I know it's not a race, okay? But I like to have at least 80% of my stuff read. And I'm looking at like 60 right now. It's rough, it's tough, and I'm in the middle of this doggone sale at the time of this recording. I've already picked up 1, 2, 3 more series on top of that. I can't wait till they get here. So yeah, I'm excited for Tokyo Revengers. I bought the Barnes and Noble edition. I think I ordered both editions and I canceled one of them because do I really need 2 copies of the same manga? I don't. So I canceled one. But I don't remember which one I canceled. I want to believe that I kept the Barnes & Noble edition, but we'll find out when it shows up. My biggest surprise, Gigant. Y'all, I did not think that I was going to enjoy Gigant as much as I do. I had no expectations, no anticipations, no need, want, like anything. I was not thinking about Gigant at all. And I know I've gushed about this series a bunch since I've read it, but I did a Mangatuber recommendation video, which I need to do another one. I haven't done one in a long time. I need to get back on that because I have a bunch to get through. I still have all these people to get to. Anyway, I did one for Elite Collector and he recommended Gigant to me and I read it and I went in thinking like, I am not going to enjoy this. This is just going to be some smutty smut. And while I don't have a problem with smutty smut, I wasn't in the mood to read smutty smut. Let me tell you something about Gigant. Yes. Is there smutty smut? Yes. Is there some underage relationship drama, yes. However, it's so much more than that, and I feel like I say that every time I talk about this series. I love Gigant. If you like weird, if you like crazy action, it's there. An adult star that can turn into a giant. There's so many crude things that you can do with that, and they do that like one time in the whole series, and I'm like, wow, way to take the high road. I'm proud of you guys. It's so good. There's aliens. It's raining poop. Listen, I know it sounds crazy. Just trust me. Just trust me. Go read Gigant. Favorite new author, and this can be a debut author or a old author, and I went with the guru, the god, the myth, the man, the legend himself, Tezuka. I've been picking up so much of his works here lately, and I've only disliked one of them, and right now I'm thinking about going back and rereading it because it could be that I just wasn't in the right mindset, and that is the Book of Human Insects. I think I want to give it another go. But MW, wonderful. The Record of Glass Castle House, whatever it's called, this phenomenal. I've thoroughly enjoyed them, and I still have so much more to go that I own and that I don't own, and I just can't wait to read it. My newest fictional crush. I am not proud of this, so I contemplated skipping this question, and I think I am going to skip this question because I'm so ashamed. I'm so ashamed. Manga that made me cry. I haven't read anything yet this year that has made me cry. Did I read Sweat and Soap this year? Sweat and Soap is the only manga that I can think of readily that has made me cry. But I can't remember if I read Sweat and Soap this year or last year. I think it was this year. Don't mind me, just checking my Goodreads. I did read Sweat and Soap this year. Okay, so my initial answer was Boy Meets Maria because it came close. It almost got me. But Sweat and Soap, which is not a sad tale at all, but there's one particular volume, and it's in, what video is it in? Who made me read Sweat and Soap? Was it Kiki? There's one volume, one moment, and it was one of those situations where the stars aligned to create just the perfect storm of emotions, and your girl is sad. I'll say it here. I was having a bad day. I'm making excuses, okay? It was a sad moment, but it shouldn't have struck me the way it did. I was having a bad day. I was going through it. I was reading Sweat and Soap. My girl Asako was going, is that her name? Look at me remembering names. I'm proud of myself. My girl Asako was going through it. Your girl Dags was going through it. And then she hit some stuff that I have definitely dealt with in my life. And I was just like, damn. Sadness. And I shed some tears that day. Sure did. But don't let that deter you from reading Sweat and Soap. If you've never read Sweat and Soap, it is a happy story. It is a realistic romance to a degree. It is about a woman who profusely sweats, and she has to use special soap to deter the smell. Now, she just happens to work for this soap company, and the head guy, the owner guy, Mr. Sweat and Mr. Soap himself, I don't remember the name of the company, Lily Drop. Anyway, the owner is like, what does that smell? Oh, it's you. But he's not like, oh my gosh, you stink like everybody else in her life is. He is infatuated by her smell, her scent, her body, her personality eventually, and they fall in love and they get together, and he makes soaps inspired by her, which is so sweet. And you're just following this couple in their relationship. Is it a romance? Yes. Do I care for romances? Not really. Is it just realistic enough to get me through? Absolutely. Aside from, you know, the sweating thing and him sniffing and that being kind of creepy, they have a normal relationship. They go through their ups, they go through their downs. It is about adults. Y'all know any manga that is about adults gets a 2-point advantage from me. And it's just a great time. You should read it. Manga that make me happy. Now this one was a little tough one. My answer was Haikyuu, but this comes with an asterisk. I only read the first 5 volumes of Haikyuu. I love Haikyuu to pieces. Parentheses, these are quotations, parentheses, the anime. I don't know if I can't read about sports or what the disconnect is there, but I've watched all the seasons of the anime. I love the anime with all my heart. I love these characters with all of my heart. But when I went to sit down and read it, I couldn't do it. And I don't know why. But seeing scenes that I remember and am so fond of in the anime on the paper made me smile. So does that count? Because it does make me happy. And eventually I would like to think that I would own it one day. They would have to come out with like a box set or some omnibus or something for me to make that happen. But I absolutely love Haikyuu, and it absolutely makes my heart smile. But I don't know if that counts as an answer, because I'm technically talking about the anime, even though the manga makes me happy too, but I don't want to read it. Does that make sense? The most beautiful manga I have bought or received this year so far. Now, if we are talking a strictly artwork, A Bride Story wins. Hands down, no questions asked. Go at your mama, don't at me. If we're talking about covers, I was going to say, oh, I actually have Bride Story here with me. And the other one. We'll get to that one in a second. Let me see if I can find a beautiful panel. This is volume 13. There's a particular page in volume 1 that absolutely made me fall in love with the artwork of this series, but I don't have volume 1 on hand with me. But I can't see, just the detail in this story and these characters. I can't see what's going on. Hopefully I'm not showing anything spoilerific, but it's just beautiful. Beautiful. Now, I mean, the covers are nice too, but if we're talking about what I love and my favorite covers, my runner-up and my original answer was going to be My Broken Mariko, because I love this cover, and I've come to realize that I like covers that have full faces, full portrait-like shots on the front cover, and I absolutely adore this cover. And I said this was one of my favorite covers, hands down, when I first got it. Until a week or two ago, when I got In These Words. Okay, these, hands down, I mean, they're all nice, but I love this. This cover is absolutely gorgeous to me. I love it so much. And bonus points for volume 2 and volume 3. I don't know when volume 4 is coming out, but it needs to come on, because I need to know what's going on. But that's another synopsis for another time. I guess I need to run through all 3 of those stories real quick. A Bride Story is about, is a historical slice of life, maybe? You're following these brides on the Silk Road, and what it's like to be betrothed, and what it was like back in that time, having to be a wife in those times, basically. And that's a very simple explanation for the story. There's so much things going on. Our main couple is Amir, and I can never remember Amir's husband's name, but there's a 23-year-old difference between them. Amir is a grown-ass woman, okay? Her husband, not so much. But they don't make it creepy. They make it work. And I love it so much. Now, My Broken Mariko is about a girl who finds out that her best friend has pulled the plug on herself, if you will, and she finds out via the news, which is a horrible way to find out about a loved one's death, in my opinion. And she goes and tries to give Mariko one last hurrah before she lays her to rest. Wonderful story. In these words is about a psychiatrist who is given the task of extracting a confession from a serial killer. When I first got it, before I read it, I said it was like Silence of the Lambs, but make it gay. Right now, it's giving Shutter Island. I'm not sure where we're going. Again, that's another conversation for another time. But I am enjoying it so far, even though it's not at all what I thought it was going to be. And last but not least, what series do I need to start before the year is over with? And the reason why I chose this series was because earlier in the year I made a video called Top 5 Series that I need to start this year. And I think this is the only series on that list that I actually haven't started yet, and I'm proud of myself, and that is Prison School. Prison School is about a group of boys who attend an all-girls school for reasons. I think it was an all-girls school, and then they finally decided to allow boys in the school. These boys get in trouble doing a little peep and Tom action, and they end up going to the school's prison, work camp, whatever you want to call it, if you will. It is funny. It is very raunchy. It is very dirty. Definitely not for everyone. I have only read volume 1. I've seen the first season of the anime way back in the day. That's another story. Definitely something that, geez, if you would have said this a year ago, I would have said it was outside of my reading taste. But I have grown to like all types of things in this past couple of years. And that is all the questions on the mid-year freakout tag. Again, I apologize that it took me a little longer than most to get this out, and therefore I am a little late on this one. But you know, we're here now. It's a great time, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.